episode for y'all. Let's do this. Okay, so welcome back, my friends, to Unscripted Turbulence. Ooh, we have covered a lot in the past. We had the trailer, episode 1, episode 2, and it has been a journey trying to relive this. In fact, I have had to recall and certain memories and went back on my phone where I recorded the vlogs. And treat for all of you listeners and watchers, you will experience even more vlogs. Now, I'm likely editing those down because, you know, when you're in the process of trying to figure it all out, you just sometimes go on a hard left. And if any of my TV producers, maybe a news director or two, cameramen, editors, writers are listening, you know I am very good at the hard left, and I just go somewhere. I eventually come back. But the difference is I don't have you telling me, rap. Such insider information. Okay, anyway, when you're told to rap as a talent on TV, that usually means, I'm going to mess this up. It usually means 30 seconds if you hear rap. And in my mind, that's like a minute. I know. Okay, so let's get to this. All right. So last where we ended was I made a decision to leave WABC. Or so I thought. What? Yeah. So what I have found is when you make a decision, a tough decision to do something, one of three things will happen. You will either A, leap immediately, B, pause and then leap, or C, pause and stay. Well, my selection was B, pause, then leap. Because as I said in the last episode, when you're making this decision, you're kind of going like a ping pong game, right? Back and forth. Do I stay? Do I go? If I do stay, I could do this. If I go, but then I'm free and all that stuff. And so I made the decision. And then the big question was how? Okay. So let's just get right into it. I'm going to adjust the microphone. So if it sounds a little funky, that's why. If you're watching, don't judge me because there we go. Okay. Now, as you know, I processed this call that I got from my general manager at WABC. It was not a call that was a delightful one, but I had to go into work the next day, so kind of had to tell my people, my coworkers at WABC. I'm not going to name names, but many of them are phenomenal. So, I mean, most all of them are phenomenal. You'll have one or two. Okay, let's just be honest. Let's call a spade here, okay? But when I started telling my select few, it was just a shock that my hours were getting pulled back. I did not tell anybody that I was leaving yet, because still at that point, yes, I know I had to, but then I started kind of going back. So I had mentioned a guy who I work with a lot, Steve. He was my cameraman at WABC, and he will be a guest at one point. I don't know how long that podcast is going to be because that guy likes to talk, but he's got the stories. Whew. Anyway, he's a real New Yorker. Anyway, so I had mentioned the next day to Steve the call and everything. And I remember me saying to him, you know, I don't know, maybe I just stay, right? Like, maybe I don't go. Maybe I just stay, because now that I'm thinking about it, this will give me access to the building. You know, I can network with the network, ABC News, you know, the other parts of ABC. And he stopped me and he was like, you know what that sounds like? That sounds like there's this shiny toy and everybody gets to play with it but you. You really want to play with it, so you'll go and look at it, but you're not allowed to touch it. And I thought, you know what, boy, these analogies are just coming out left and right. I'm like, oh, that actually kind of makes sense. So at that point, this was a whole day of working with him and really processing. And then I ended up going home, and that was already kind of designed for me to go home, just for like a quick trip to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, where I am from. And when I was home, I spent most of my time driving home on the phone with coworkers and friends, just kind of going through the process. And I get home, I talk to my mom and my dad and just kind of explain, this is what I think I'm doing. I'm kind of like 99.9% sure I'm done. And everybody was very, very supportive. I had a really deep conversation with two of my girlfriends and my hometown girls. And the one really, she told me years ago, my hours were so wild and we could barely see each other. And she said, like, you're not even living life. So she's the one I talked to, and she reiterated that point and said, it's fine to do what you need to do, but after a while, what are you getting out of it? So, you are literally, when you decide that you want to make this decision, you are going through all kinds of peaks and valleys. So I get back to New York, and it's a Monday, and that week was the week. So I had a workday Monday, and then Tuesday, April 1st was the day. As I was home, though, I also, in the middle of the night, woke up and thought, I got to write a farewell letter, right? Now, mind you, my body clock was still on that wake up at 1:30 a.m. and then your creative juices are flowing by 3:30 in the morning, and it is off to the races. So that was around the time I woke up, during the time I was home, before I got back from my last week, or my last 2 days. And I just kind of spit out this farewell letter. It was phenomenal. And I get back to New York, and Monday I go to work, I do my thing, and I'm still pausing, but I know I gotta do it. I know I gotta walk away, but I'm still pausing. So I go to bed that Monday night, or actually, no, it was Sunday night. I'm sorry. I stand correct. It was Sunday night. I go to bed after I get home from Bethlehem visiting. I go to bed Sunday night, and I'm realizing this is the week I'm doing what I'm going to do, I think. And I decided to do another vlog. And just the reason I'm giving you these vlogs, if you're watching, you'll see all the trepidation on my face. If you're listening, you'll hear it. Is because I want you to know just how hard this was for me. And I know that this, because I have heard from many of you, is resonating. Any decision you make, anything that matters in your life, any decision that you make, this is what happens. This depth of decision making, and what will my life look like? And will I regret this? But if I don't do this. So here is the vlog that I taped the Sunday night before the Tuesday that I decided to walk. And take a listen. Had a conversation about my reduction in hours, and kind of threw me off a little bit because she really believes that things will turn around. And it's kind of like the same story I keep hearing, or the same situation I hold out hope for, or, the change will come. And a little bit of like, I don't know, am I doing the right thing? But I know I am. So then, of course, I had to go to Pilot and say, I know I'm being crazy, but my conversation was a little hopeful. And, he says, do what you want to do. Which, you want an answer, right? I asked God Monday night to give me an answer, give me a sign, something. And then not even 24 hours later, I got a call from my general manager saying that your hours are being drastically cut. I don't know what more I need as a sign from above or whatever cosmic thing. So yeah, even when you make these decisions, it's hard, so hard. It's not like I am taking some bizarre elixir on Tuesday that I don't know if I will survive or not, okay? It's literally just walking away from something that no longer serves me. That is what I'm doing. So I'm tired of getting passed over. I'm tired of having everybody tell me, my colleagues on the ground, that I'm so great, that I'm so wonderful, and viewers, and then there's nothing to show for it other than I'm still filling in or I'm still second string. I'm a firm believer in listening to your gut, trusting your gut, and following your gut. And I know I'm doing the right thing. Well, it is now 7:22 and I'm going to bed. This is the second to last time I will be doing this, which is bittersweet. I don't know why. Then waking up at 1:30. Well, the alarm goes off at 1:30 and I don't get my butt out of bed until 1:50-ish. But, no. I'm doing the right thing. I know I am. I know. All right. So you just listened to the vlog the Sunday night before the week I was going to officially sign off. And I obviously edited out the individual who I was speaking with, their name, just to protect privacy. But it was one of my coworkers, and when your coworkers really vibe with you, they feel like, do you gotta go? And I don't know. It was just so much conversation. So much conversation. Because this is not an easy industry. This is so not. To get to the point that I got to, it's not an easy journey. But if you love it, you stay with it. That's with anything, right? Okay, so now we get to Monday night. Don't worry, I'm not going to bore you with a vlog, but I did vlog the morning of because this was go time. My mind was made up. Pilot told me, when you go to work, bring your laptop, bring your phone, bring everything they give you because they might just need you to drop it off. And right away, and, at least you have it. So I wake up 1:30 in the morning. It was a bittersweet wake up. Many people are probably thinking, how is that bittersweet, girl? You're waking up at 1:30 in the morning. If anything, it's sweet that you're doing it the last time. Sure. But that also is like a part of me that I kind of prided myself on, that I had the ability and I could do it. Waking up at 1:30 in the morning and then going to bed at 6 p.m. There's a certain level of camaraderie in the morning with the morning crews, and you don't truly understand that shift until you do it. And I thought I got it when I would fill in here and there. Oh no. So it was bittersweet to wake up, do my thing, get ready, put the makeup on, put the eyelashes on. I was a pro. I don't have the eyelashes on. I don't put the fake eyelashes on now. But I was a pro at it and did all that. And then it was time to collect my belongings and go to my car. load in my car and drive with the stream of consciousness. So this is another vlog. And trust me, I'm not boring you with this entire podcast with vlogs, but I feel like I really want you to come with me with this journey, because it is something. So here is the second and last vlog of this podcast, I promise you, that takes you in deeper into where I was at on Tuesday, April 1st, 2025. And this was the day I decided to resign from WABC. This was the commute into work that day. I know I'm doing the right thing. I know I am. I took several moments this morning to really walk through what I'm doing. Really walk through. Listen, I'm a fool. The writing is on thy wall. They are not looking at investing in me. But you know what? If I look at it as like a mother bird, that mother bird is kicking me out of the nest. And they're letting me choose when to jump. Because I could have just said, bye. So, I'm sad. I am, of course. It's the people, It's the people. I don't know. A lot of reflecting today. But, what am I going to do? Stay there and watch everybody get elevated around me? And I say that with humility. Where are my keys? I absolutely do, but, I say it with humility. Am I the best? No. Just kidding. But, they're not looking at making me a starter. And, listen, I got all the tools I could possibly have to do this on my own. And because of the phone and a camera and all the equipment now that you could, and YouTube and all of that you could actually get out there and widen your audience and amplify your voice more. And when I was in the shower, I started thinking about my evolution in news. And most recently, I just feel like I've been contained. I've been contained to this role, a multifaceted journalist. I have many different layers. I can do many things, but while that is wonderful and makes you more marketable, it screws you. It really, in different ways. I don't know. And now I feel what I'm doing is I'm no longer listening to the leaders in the news business who I feel, for whatever reason, have contained me to a specific role, a full-time fill-in, or I can fill in. I'm what do they call it? A utility player. And I'm listening now to viewers, to you. I'm listening to all of, it's not the best lighting. Like, what do you want from me? It's like 3 in the morning, I'm listening to all of the direct messages, the posts, the emails, the on the street passerbys saying whatever. And there's just this resonating message, energy, uplifting, humor, active, all of this. And I'm going to take that and create my own thing. And I have also received a couple of messages saying that I should have my own show. And I always brush them off, thinking, please, I don't want a show. I just think about, and I had such a narrow view of it. Oh, on a TV show? Ew. It is so stressful. TV is so stressful. And the last thing I would want to do is be a headline of a show, because if it sinks, you're gone. All of that, the bells and whistles, there's so much to do about you, which is great for some people. And yes, does it feel good? Heck yeah. But that said, that comes in, and as quick as it comes in, it is as quick as it leaves. No. It just never appealed to me. But now that I could potentially do something with Instagram, and then kick it to YouTube, I feel very clear today. Oh my God, I can't believe it goes in waves. My 20-year-old self would probably be freaking out right now. I don't know though. If my 20-year-old self knew the journey in which I took, and there would be a point that I'm like, bye, I think my 20-year-old self would be like, heck yeah. All right, so the plan is 7 a.m. to send the email because I work at ABC 7. My plan is to call my general manager first. I have no news director because he left, and I really liked him. He brought me in. He is the one who brought me in. Simple little email to him. And I'm glad I landed at ABC 7. I have absolutely no regrets. It shaped me. Every single stage in this TV business has shaped me. Oof, this one shaped me in ways that I didn't even see coming. It strengthened my voice to speak up. Yeah, wish me luck. Okay, so what you just listened to is vlog number 2, and just taking you through the journey the morning of making the decision to resign. So that day, I get on the morning meeting call, the 3:15 in the morning, and our incredible assignment desk editor explains everything that's going on, and I get sent to the Upper West Side for outdoor dining. And at that time, I think it was day 1, I think. Anyway, so we get there. The show goes on at 4:30 a.m. Of course, it's schwitzing and raining, because why wouldn't it be? But it was going to end up clearing up and be sunny and beautiful, which I thought, well, while we're on the signs that I've been given that I'm doing the right thing, why not sunshine? So 4:30 a.m. the show starts. I do my live hits at the bottom of the hour and the top of the hour, all the way until, like 6:50. And then it was time to send the farewell email. And as a little treat, I'm going to read the email that I sent to my colleagues, because I feel like this is, first of all, I'm real proud of it. Yes, I kept it. And a little side note on keeping things. So I like to keep memorabilia. Now, not a lot of memorabilia, but things that have deep attachment and meaning, and I just tend to keep things. Now, Pilot calls me a hoarder. The first time he called me a hoarder, I thought he was calling me a whore, and I thought, whoa, where is this coming from? But no. Now, I'm not sure he would appreciate the fact that I kept this email or not, but I sure as heck do, because I'm very proud of it. So, okay, so the show ends at 7 o'clock in the morning, and then we get into Good Morning America. So the local is not part of that unless it's like a big breaking news, in which case outdoor dining was not. So I'm just laughing because this is just ridiculous. So I said, all right, I'm going to make it all matter. I'm going to make all I'm going to do my farewell email, and there's going to be power behind every moment and move and the timing of it all. So I sent a total of 2 emails. The first one was to my general manager, and that was sent at 7:07 a.m. And it was very similar, close to the one that I sent to my colleagues. Now, that one I'm going to remain private. It wasn't anything nasty and negative. But, you know, I gave her not a piece of my mind, but I gave her just gratitude. Because really, at the end of the day, she allowed me she was part of the cast who allowed me into the Magic Kingdom, right? So I'm grateful for that. I'm eternally grateful. How it went down, maybe not as grateful, but so then I send at about 7:15, and I called my general manager too, because I felt it was necessary for me to call. So email, and then I called her immediately. She did not pick up, but I eventually did hear from her. And then I decided to send the second email to my colleagues. Really thought I hit all of the email groups. Apparently I didn't. Everybody eventually got the memo, but this happened at 7:15. So this is my farewell email that will now be out in the open. Are you ready? To my fellow musketeers, my gut has told me, and recent events have showed me, it's time for me to sign off from WABC. Or, as Rafiki tells Simba at the end of my favorite Disney movie, The Lion King, it is time. Before I roar atop Pride Rock, I want to thank you all for making this experience so powerful. This was my 7th TV shop, Kismet, and I couldn't be prouder to have worked here. I feel I've grown in so many ways and truly strengthened my voice. So, if you'll excuse me, it's time to let the Pride Lands know I'm ready to be queen of my next chapter, thus continuing the circle of life. With that, in New York City, Raegan Medgie, Channel 7, Eyewitness News. Hashtag pinkies up. Yep, I went there. Oh, I went there. So my colleagues enjoyed that. I had several emails, many filled with humor and laughter, which was, I mean, how could you not? And this was created. That email was pumped out at 3:45 in the morning when I was home visiting friends and family. Okay? So I was real proud of that. Like sometimes when things hit you, they just hit you. And the pinkies up at the end. If you are not familiar, on my Instagram and now on my TikTok, although TikTok's not really trending as much, but whatever, I do a martini series called Martinis with Medgie. And that started when I was going back to school for meteorology during Fox 5 times. And at the end, I always say pinkies up. So that's where the pinkies up came from. So yeah, that was how I ended. So obviously, it doesn't just end there, right? I'm getting a phone call from the assistant news director, a lovely conversation, by the way. And I then get pulled off the 10 a.m. show. And I said, whoa, I'm not asking for a half day. I just want to kind of let you guys know, like give you a heads up. This is going to be my last day. No. Just tie up loose ends, they say. Tie up loose ends? I mean, there's not really a lot to tie up. So I ended up holding court. All the camera dudes, now in that area that I was doing a live shot at. CBS 2 was there, NBC 4 was there. So now my news is spreading like wildfire. So I ended up holding court at a local breakfast joint. People are coming in and out and in and out. And their response was just like, I just heard, are you serious? Is this happening? Yep. Yes, brothers and sisters, this is happening. Medgie is exiting stage left. And that was basically the whole morning. I like to tell people that I was living my wake and funeral because it still didn't end there. Because at this point, only my TV people in the field knew, and then now some of my colleagues were knowing and finding out. And in the TV world, it spread. So I get back. I get into the news truck with Steve. We go down to the station. WABC moved from the Upper West Side down to Soho. So I went down to Soho and got in the building. And I remember just the first two people I saw. One of my favorite cameramen, another one. I mean, they're all phenomenal. I mean, these people are phenomenal. And then one of the desk assistant. Well, is he a desk assistant? I mean, one of the desk people. They basically are the air traffic control. And they look at me with this just sadness as though they just lost their jobs. And they just look at me and they're like, what? Are you serious? This sucks. Imagine being told that. Imagine you're like, I'm making this decision, that's it. And then the reaction you get is just sadness. I'm sure there were other people, okay? And they're probably not listening to this podcast that were real happy that I was leaving. Oh, they were probably planning the party of thank goodness. We all have them. I don't know who they are, but I hope that you had a good party. And for the most part, though, I got a really nice farewell. So much so that the next day, which was my first day off, one of my colleagues threw a farewell party for me. But it was a dual party. It was a birthday party and my farewell party, which was very sweet. And she knows who she is, and it was very sweet. And that was sad that night because I had some legacy people come up to me and say really kind things. So I'm just like reliving it right now. So just like, let me be. Anyway. So that is the story of how that all went down. Oh my gosh. And it's funny, looking back now, I'm not looking at what I did with any regret, how I did it, why I did it, when I did it. But it's just still so sad because I really believe in news and it will still be around, but probably in a different form in a couple of years. It's needed so much. But it's not fair. One can argue life's not fair. So then you kind of have to move on and say, well, what are you going to do now? So that's where we're at now. So I decided, okay, after all of this podcast idea just kept on coming up in my mind. And I thought, there's got to be something to this. I don't know where this is going. No idea. But I know my job's not done yet on the screen. So now instead of a TV screen, unless you're watching on YouTube TV or watching your YouTube through the TV, I'm going to be on your device, which really is the wave of the future. So that is the story Morning Glory. And in the next episode, we're going to talk about what has been really happening since, which brings up a very good observation of mine that I've been having a lot recently, which are signs. And the most incredible sign came to me in the form of my new friend. I call her Godwink Dana Brewington. And she will be in the next episode as my first guest, which is totally apropos. And before we go, a lot of you have mentioned that you enjoyed the quote at the end of, I think it was last episode. So the one book that I have been holding on to and been randomly flipping through since I decided to close the chapter on local news is this book, You Are a Badass Every Day by Jen Sincero. And I hope to have Jen Sincero on this show, because if you haven't got one of her books, and this is not a paid advertisement, they're phenomenal. So I thought, you know what, why don't I end with something today? And this is what I'm going to end with for all of you listening. Final thought. If you keep waiting for the right time, you'll keep living the wrong life. Bye, friends. See you next time. Take what lands, leave what doesn't, and keep moving forward. Follow wherever you're listening, and if you are watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. It helps more than you know.